It's a brand new day, let's teach your way. It's time for Musicplay.
Welcome back to the Musicplay Minutes podcast. This episode is also available as a webinar with a handout and a PD certificate. All extra resources, including visual examples mentioned in this episode, can be found at workshops.musicplay.ca. Today, Denise Gagne will be presenting easy lesson planning ideas for music classes to get you started off on the right foot. Lesson plans will include ideas for Orff specialists, Kodaly specialists, general music teachers, classroom teachers, and subs.
Welcome, everybody. I'm delighted you're here with me today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Denise Gagne, and I am the crazy woman who started Musicplay Online. So today we're talking about easy lesson planning. Lesson planning can take up 3 or 4 hours of every Sunday night. And I don't know about you, but my life is short, and I find it really... It was just always really onerous to do it, and it seemed to take forever and ever. So I want to give you some strategies for making it a little bit easier. So I'm going to share screen, and I am going to start with my PowerPoint. My suggestion always is start with the end in mind. What do you want them to know by the end of the year? End of kindergarten, I want them to have the following skills. Keep a steady beat with movement, with instruments, and when they're tapping on a beat chart. I want them to be able to sing in tune. I want them to move, showing responses to music that are appropriate and not wildly off the wall. In terms of concepts, loud, quiet, fast, slow, high, low, smooth, separated. I forgot speaking and singing voice. Those are concepts that I want them to know as well. I want them to know the names of the classroom instruments, names of Orff instruments if I have them, and to understand the different timbres that they make. The how we teach, 2 ways to think of this. National Standards way is we create, respond, perform, connect. Artie's way, and these are Artie's words that I've used so often I think they're my own, sing, play, move, listen, read, write, create. Those are the hows of what we do. So you're planning in some respects for assessments, and you need to be thinking about what does my report card look like? If I can only give a number like a 1, 2, or a 3, or a 1, 2, 3, 4, or beginning, developing, proficient, that may alter my planning a little bit. If I'm allowed to put a whole bunch of concepts that I can report on in the report card, then I probably will put more concepts. Or will you report on skill development? I always used to do lots of assessment. Can the kids sing in tune? And I do lots of guessing games, lots of, hello, Linda. And Linda would sing back, hello, Mrs. Gagne. And I would mark down how well in tune they were. I would keep a steady beat, and I'd watch the class, I'd observe the class doing something like shake it, shake it, shake it, and shake it, shake it, shake it, and see how well they were keeping a beat. I would just have them in class list order, hopefully in the room in class list order, and I'd go check, 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 nope, check, 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 check. So you can figure out your assessments better if you know what your reporting is requiring you to do. So the scope and sequence for Musicplay, and this scope and sequence is in lesson planning in the overview section. So for example, under elements rhythm or duration, music may move to a steady beat. That is an expectation that I want kids to meet right from kindergarten on through to middle school. The next expectation, distinguish between beat and rhythm. And I use the words, the beat is the part that doesn't change. The beat is the part that stays the same. And when we come to rhythm, rhythm is the way the words go. That's something that I want my kindergartens to experience, but I probably won't label that till 1st grade. Unless I got really exceptional kindergartens, then I might. Things like there are strong and weak beats in music. I want my kindergartens to experience, but I may not label that till 1st grade. So check out the scope and sequence. Everybody's scope and sequence is going to be somewhat similar to this. When I took my Kodaly levels, Lois Choksey's Kodaly method, this is very similar to the sequence that she laid out in the Kodaly method. It's also very similar to the sequence that Arvita Steen laid out in Exploring Orff. So whether you're Kodaly or Orff or a generalist or an eclectic music teacher, this sequence will be similar to what you use. For melody and timbre, for pitch, sounds may be high, low, or in the middle. And I do 3 little fishies, and one of them is low, one is middle, one is high. And that's a kindergarten expectation. And I would expect through the grade levels that all the other grades would be able to meet that expectation as well. So take a look at the scope and sequence on Musicplay Online, see how much of it fits with what you do and where you want to change it. If you've got a PDF editor, you can edit my scope and sequence, make it your own. So we also include expression, so dynamics, tempo, articulation. In the scope and sequence is also form, how music is organized. So in kindergarten, that might be same or different. When you get up to higher grades, I want them to know rondo form. Texture and harmony is another element that I want kids to understand. So in kindergarten, it might be 2 or more sounds can occur at the same time. And in grade 1, it might be melodies can be accompanied by a harmony. When you get up to the higher grades, 1 and 5 chords can accompany melodies. So those things will happen in your district scope and sequence or your personal scope and sequence at different times, but they're going to be very close to what's on Musicplay Online. I've made these beautiful What We Will Learn posters. They are gorgeous. They're color-coded according to the grades. I'll show you in a few minutes where you find these on Musicplay Online. I saw on Facebook a teacher who made these into a bulletin board. I thought, brilliant. That shows the kids, any parents who come into that room, any admins who come into that room, a short version of what you're going to teach in music. And I'm sticking with grade 2 today just because. So the year plan, you need to take this scope and sequence and divide it amongst the months that you teach. If you start in August, your year plan should start in August. If you go through till June like Canadian teachers do, you can go right till the end of June. So what I've done for grade 2 is I've taken in the month of September, I'm going to review beat, I'm going to review ta and titi or do and do day, whatever rhythm names you call it. I'm going to introduce the idea of a tie with the song O Poisana from Ghana. For melody and harmony, I'm going to review high, middle, and low with them. I'm going to review so and me and talk about so being the higher note, me being the lower note, show the placement on the staff. It's my hope that grade 1s would have learned that, but not every grade 2 comes into my school from my program. You have kids move in, and then you have to make sure that they know everything that you expected your grade 1s to know at the end of the year. So and me should be a review for grade 2. No guarantees that they know it, so you might be doing some teaching. In terms of expression, in September, I'm going to talk about fast, slow, loud, quiet, or loud, soft. Soft, I start using in grade 2. And I'll use Poor Little Bug on the Wall and John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt to teach those. In terms of instruments, I will introduce lots of unpitched to them. I might review the Orff instruments. So that is my year outline and the months that I hope to accomplish different things. I've front-loaded a lot of this. And if you have kids that struggle with the learning, do your making conscious later in the school year than what I do. You certainly, we don't assume that everybody is going to label ta and titi in the same week at the same time. Everybody's going to do it differently. So beat and rhythm activities on Musicplay Online have all the same teaching slides with them, and you can label whenever it seems to you that your kids are ready for it. The other thing that we have to consider is how many minutes a week you have those kids for. I have talked to teachers who have their kids for 30 minutes every 6 days. You can't teach as much when you have your kids for that little bit of time as you can if you have your kids 3 times a week for 30 minutes. When I created the lesson modules on Musicplay Online, they were created for approximately 40 to 60 minutes. If you have less time, leave something out. If you have more time, go directly to the songs in the song list. You can press that little arrow key in the module and you'll go to the song in the song list and you'll see a million extensions that you can do. So if you're blessed and you have your kids 3 times a week, you can do lots. If you only have your kids once a week, you can't do as much. And I'm going to explain also that August is an extra. The song list doesn't begin until September, and that's because not all schools start in August. So if I wrote 36 lessons and you started August week 1, all the Halloween stuff would be in September, which is way sooner than I want to do it. So instead, I did it by the calendar month, August to June, August being extras. I have teachers who start in August week 1, 2, 3, 4. I did a poll on the Musicplay Teachers group on Facebook, and it was just unbelievable how many different start times there are. So my suggestion is, wherever you are in August, start with August week 1. And there is 5 weeks this year in August. So you may have to supplement with things from the back to school unit, but that's okay. I've also had a few comments on Facebook that there's overlap between grades in August, and I say that's okay. You can do the same name games. You can do the same welcome activities with more than one grade. Also, song activities that I put in August generally come from June, because my thought process is if you're teaching in August, you probably aren't teaching in June. So I've taken some of the end of June songs and put them in August so your kids get to experience them. So the month outlines are in lesson planning, overview, and they have 3 columns. Column 1 is the song list, what's in Musicplay. And as I mentioned before, song list starts in September. Column 2 is what's in the learning modules. And column 2 learning modules does not always match exactly the song list, because as I was building them, I'm going, oh, I have a little too much in this month. I'm going to leave something out. Or for grades 5 and 6, sometimes I feel that the song list doesn't serve the upper grades as well as it does the lower. So the upper grades, I know January, February, March, in their lesson modules, I did the History of Jazz unit. And I still stand by that. That I think is a really, really good unit to do with 5th and 6th grade. So I completely, not almost, almost completely veered off what was in the song list for them. So column 1, song list. Column 2, what's in the lesson modules. Column 3 is some of the additional options that are available on Musicplay Online. And there is a wealth of them. You can pick and choose from solfa practice, rhythm practice, games, modules, the storybooks module. There's tons of extras on there. There are many different ways people use Musicplay Online. I have talked to teachers who subscribe because their kids really like poise and rhythm and poise and melody. And they pretty much stick to their own existing curriculum, but they supplement with the games and the practice and the composition tools. Now with John Jacobson materials on Musicplay Online, that's even more supplements to use. Orff trained specialists with a room full of Orff instruments. You can teach a whole year just using the Orff arrangements in any grade. And when we get to grade 2, I'll show you the song list and how it outlines where the Orff arrangements are. Kodaly trained teachers can use the solfa sequence in the same way, just using it from the song list of Musicplay Online. Or you can use the lessons in the lesson modules as they are. I would love to hear in the chat, I would love to see in the chat, how many of you have downloaded a lesson ever from Teachers Pay Teachers and used it exactly as it is? I bet you lots of you have done that. I bet you lots of you have downloaded a Teachers Pay Teachers lesson and then modified it. And this is, to me, what I've made available to you in the lesson modules. I think there's a feeling of guilt using somebody else's lesson. But I think, just think of it as a Teachers Pay Teachers from Denise, and it happens to be online. You can use it as a framework add and substitute freely. You can customize it. You can copy and edit it. The modules are amazing and awesome subplans. I think it's far better for the kids to go through a module than it is to watch a video. And it's really awesome for new teachers. It's also awesome for the experienced teachers. Give yourself permission to use this once in a while. Everybody is exhausted from the last 2 years, so give yourself the grace to use the lesson modules if you wish. So this is what the lesson modules look like. There's an introduction that outlines everything that's in it. Pretty much that introduction is also in the month outlines. The objectives are given as I can statements, and in supporting resources, there is any PDFs you might need. And then one after another, the activities come. They're given in order. So I start the grade 2 lesson 1 September with Welcome to Music. Then I go on to rhythm practice. Then I use Bobo. Then I have engine number 9. I teach it by rote. And I show the kids demo. And you can copy this and customize it. Get rid of the things you don't need. Keep what you like. It's easy lesson planning. And you can use this in a variety of ways. I'm going to jump now to the website and show you where everything is that I just talked about. So over here on left menu is lesson planning. And when I click on lesson planning in the left menu, I am taken to the overview. The first part of the overview, this is really good information. General information includes concert permissions policy. You have my blessing. You have John Jacobson's blessing to use those songs in any way that you need. Use it for your concerts. You don't need to email for extra permissions. You have our permission. Download this. If an admin asks you, you've got permission. I've got some music advocacy posters next, if you want those. We have our equity and diversity statement, just updated today. We actually pulled 3 songs today from the song list. And if you notice that I believe Ho Ho Watanabe is missing, I can't remember the other 2, but it's because we couldn't authenticate exactly where they came from, and we couldn't authenticate that they were gifted from the Indigenous peoples to the collector of the music. So we've pulled them from the program. We'll replace them with other things. Next comes the scope and sequence. That's what I showed you in my PowerPoint. You can download it, you can print it. Next comes the What We Will Learn posters, and they are beautiful. I showed you the grade 2 poster in my PowerPoint, and every grade level is lovely. And if you have a PDF editor, or you can find, there's online PDF editors. You can edit this and make it your own. We didn't have time last year to make it into Word, and I don't think we're going to have time this year. We're still really busy. So edit it using a PDF editor. The next thing you'll see is substitute plans. And the learning module substitute information is a really valuable document. It gives a link where to go to. Tells your sub, go to musicplayonline.com. If it asks you to log in as a student. And what you have to make sure is that on Musicplay Online, you have gone to the dashboard and you have generated your student code. Once you do that, and you only have to do it once you do that, your code is unique to you. The site remembers what your code is. And if you give your students a link, it will embed the code in the link. I had a teacher ask me this week, could we give the kids just the website and the code and let them play around on it at home? Absolutely. So I'm going to go back to where I was in lesson planning overview. And I was in the learning module substitute information. So you put the student access code for your subs. You do not have to share your teacher password. Give them your student code. That's all they need. The next thing it tells them to do is to go on the left menu, select learning modules. They click on that. They choose the grade level. Current week is going to be at the top now. Open the lesson, do each activity, note how many activities were completed on the notes for the teacher page. I had a year, more than one year, where I had 10 27-minute classes a day 5 days a week. So I taught 50 classes. So I've made class 10 the maximum. I hope you don't have more than that. If you do, I feel for you. But I've only put 10 in here. Additional notes. So hopefully that the substitute will note for you, we had a great class. So-and-so was misbehaving. And you can deal with that when you get back to school. So these subnotes, use them. They're really an easy way for you to plan for a substitute teacher. If you get an appendix attack and you have to go to the hospital, the last thing that you need to worry about is what you're going to do for a sub. And this way, you'll know basically what the sub has done, and it's easier for them to do it. So under sub plans, as of today, thank you, Danae, we have the year plans here. So I'm going to let you have a glance at grade 2 year plan. And that's what I discussed in the PowerPoint. It shows the months of the year, where the different elements of music are introduced, and what my plan is to introduce them. So in September, I'm hoping to introduce Steady Beat, Ta and Titi, and I'm going to use the song Engine Engine to do that, and I'll show you how I do that in a few minutes. Following through, just to mention, highlights is PDFs of some of the things that I think are useful to know about Musicplay Online. In particular, JJ&Me content list. There's 5 pages of new content from John Jacobson, so keep that in mind. The next area is national standards, and we have I can statements built to align to the national standards. In the top, in big letters, is what the kids' version is. I can make up musical ideas. Underneath is the actual national standard written out. MUCR 1.1, with limited guidance, create musical ideas, such as answering a musical question for a specific purpose. Kid terminology, I can make up musical ideas. And I had volunteers from Virginia Beach who are going to help us make up I can statements for all the other grades. So even though I'm slow doing the national standards alignment, it will help you. So month outlines come right after the year. I missed this. So my grade 2 month outlines are right here. As I said, August is an extra. Song list starts in September. Column 1, song list. Column 2, lesson modules. Column 3, additional options. So I am going to jump now to the learning modules, and I'm going to look at grade 2 lessons. This is what your sub would do. They'd click on learning modules, they'd click on grade 2 lessons, and then they would pick the week. Currently, these weeks are out of order. That's being fixed. But I'm going to find September week 1. And so this is the first week of September. Here's our introduction. That was in the month outlines. Here's the I can statements. At the end of this lesson, I can sing and move to music. I can move to the beat. So we start with everybody's favorite welcome song, Welcome to Music. Sing the echoes.
Welcome to music, welcome to music. Glad you're here, glad you're here. Gonna do some singing, gonna do some singing. Gonna use our ears, gonna use our ears. We're going to have a lot of fun, 'cause music time has just begun. Welcome to music, welcome to music. Glad you're here, glad you're here.
And I hope you're happy to see all your kids after a long time away. If I was using the lesson module, I might use the video for that, in particular because my voice doesn't work right. But the rhythm practice, I probably wouldn't use this, but it's a nice reminder for me to have to do some echo rhythm activities with the kids. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute, and I'm going to stand up, and I want to see the rest of you stand up too, and I'm going to do some echo body percussion as my rhythm activity. Stomp, stomp. here's some alternative activities you can do that are fun for the kids. I'm going to do 4 beats. You're going to echo them while you're echoing. I'm going to do 4 new beats. You echo them while you're echoing. I do 4 new beats. So we're doing this in canon. This is really good to do with 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. It will challenge them a little bit. So echo me while you're echoing. Watch what I do next. So I did it fairly easy, making it quite doable for the kids, but it's a nice challenge for them to do that. I could do all kinds of other rhythm warm-ups. I could play Poison Rhythm with them without the video. The video is always fine. Yes, the brain's not working right now, but I'm sure I could think of 18 more things to do with rhythms, and I'm sure you can. So rhythm practice, a sub can use the video. You don't need to, but it's a nice reminder. Bobo. Again, I'm going to stop and I'm going to use my Bobo. And again, I would use the fact that Bobo is there as a reminder. First time I come across it, I might not know what Bobo is, but once I've loved Bobo and my kids have loved Bobo, I'm going to make my own Bobos and do my own echoes with the kids. Bobo. Bo, bo, bo. Bo, bo, bo. Bo, 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 bo. And I did that last one because that's the pattern we're going to use shortly in engine number 9. So I'll go back to the screen share, show you where we are. In the lesson, we've just done Bobo. Now we're going to teach engine number 9. I'm going to add, before this activity, concept slide of engine number 9. So experienced teachers can simply teach it from the music. And
Listen to the music and echo sing when it's your turn. And
okay, I wouldn't use the recording. I'm going to put the concept slide there so you can use it. And then I would simply teach it by rote. I would sing engine number 9 and have the kids sing it back. Teach the whole song by rote. If your students are reading well enough to read Ta's and TT's or Do's and Do Days, have them read it. T, 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 ta. T, 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 ta. If they're reading well enough to read the solfa, the so and the me, I would have them read it in solfege next. And I would just do that, again, with a concept slide, not doing it with the video. I would skip that video. Also, our kids don't need to be on screen every minute of the day. If I had an easy way to just stop the screen share and take it off the board, I would do a lot of this just live with the kids. This I would show them, even if I'm a really experienced teacher, because I think seeing how the kids play the game is valuable and it makes it an easier explanation, gives you 2 minutes of voice rest. So leader creates a motion. Everybody in the line copies.
If the train goes off the tracks, will I get my money back?
And usually I would actually do the train whistle to pop kids up into head voice.
Now I go to the end of the line, and it's always tricky. Try not to go.
I'm encouraging them not to go round and round in a circle, but to find their own pathways when they're doing this. So if there's 22 kids in the class, I may play the game 22 times. It's only 30 seconds long, and they can do it. If I'm a sub and I need the recording support, recording is here. If I'm doing this as a trained music teacher, I would just stop the screen share altogether, and I would teach, I would play the game with the kids, because always playing the game is the most important part of the whole lesson. Now you can see the little arrow here. I'm on activity 8, song used, engine number 9. And where it says song used, it's got a little arrow. And this will jump to the song in the song list. So if I'm looking for extensions, that would be a great place to go. What I have here built into the lesson is a link to the interactive. I'm going to jump to the song and do the interactive from the song so you can see where it is. So I was linked to the beat and rhythm interactive. Here below are the beat and rhythm cards, the beat and rhythm worksheet activities. First activity is point to the beat. Sing the song, point to the beat. Engine number 9, going down the railroad line. Next activity, and I'm going to remember and ask Matthew to put the word interactive in front of here. I can turn off some beats and the kids audiate those. Artie says, you can't be great if you can't audiate. So audiation or inner hearing is really important. So now the kids would sing this line out loud, continue to point to the beat, but sing it inside their head. Ready, go. Engine number 9. If the train goes off the tracks. And I would keep turning off beats until they audiate everything but first and last note. And then they've essentially audiated the entire song. And we can do lots with them once they can do that. I will show you when I get to the worksheets what I want. Here is the rhythm chart. Rhythm is the way the words go. So engine is 2 sounds. There's 2 icons to show it. Engine number 9. 9 is 1 sound, so there's 1 icon to show it. So I would have the kids clap and sing. Then, if you remember back to the scope and sequence, where the kids, the very beginning of it is they keep a steady beat. The second expectation is differentiate between beat and rhythm. Here's how we do it in grade 2. We pat or step the beat, and when we change to this card, we clap the rhythm, and we do it to engine. So stand up, and I'm going to try and operate this and explain as we go. So I have the beat card out first, step the beat, and sing the song. And you can sing up the octave. I'm down below. Ready, go. Engine number 9, going down the railroad line. If the train goes off the track, will I get my money back? And for the kids, this is a game. I call it the beat rhythm switch game. It's fun for them to do. My grade 2s should have learned this last year, but it's always good to review. This is an assessment. Is the drum playing the beat or the rhythm? I press play. And if I think it's the rhythm, I clap the way the words are going to show, and voila, we were right. If I think it's beat, I tap the beat on my heart, and we were right. So there's lots of examples, and it's randomized. Now we get to how many sounds on a beat. Engine, 2 sounds. Engine number 9. 9, 1 sound on a beat. And the first time I do it with icons. But when the kids have showed me that they really do understand the difference between the steady beat and the way the words go, I might label it. Engine, 2 sounds on a beat is TT or do day. 1 sound on a beat is ta. And that's how I teach them to read rhythms. Always in these beat and rhythm interactives, there is a creating activity. This is a word rhythm activity where you make up a word rhythm pattern, chugga, chew, chew, chew. So I am going to use my sticks, and I'm going to scrape, chugga, and I'm going to drum the chew. I'll do it on a practice pad so it sounds a little better. Ready, go. Chugga, chugga, chew, chew. Chugga, chew, chew, chew. And national standards, get the kids creating. What other ways can you think of to perform those rhythms? Maybe we could clap the chugga and tap the chews. Do it with me. Here we go. Chugga, chugga, chew, chew. Chugga, chew, chew, chew. And I'll show you where you can find the manipulatives so you can give individual students or small groups of students these word rhythms to make their own patterns. Then I use the song as the theme and these as a B section. Here's create a new rhythm pattern now with notes. So if your kids are reading Ton TT early in grade 2, they could create with notes. You could use this as an ostinato pattern. I might only use 4 beats if I do it as an ostinato. Let's see, I'm gonna do ta, ta, ta as my ostinato. I might only do the top row if I was doing it as an ostinato. B section, I'd probably want the 8 beats. But that is given for every single reading song in the program. So Beat and Rhythm is an interactive. It's in interactives. Underneath the interactives are the printables. And if I go to Beat and Rhythm PDF, you'll see the printables that match what we just did. So here is the beat pointing page. Do you remember when we audiated with the interactive beat chart? Once the kids can audiate that well, I can ask them, what word falls on beat number 2? Sing the song in your head, figure it out. Engine, engine. It's engine. What word falls on beat number 12? So everybody audiate and figure out what word lands on beat 12. Ready, go. What word was it? If you got tracks, you were right. Only paper and pencil way I've found to assess whether children have internalized or can audiate. Internalize the beat. Rhythm pointing page, I don't ever use those. Song sorts are great. If you have time to do a song sort with your kids, copy it. It takes 1, 2, 3, 4 cuts with the paper cutter, and you've got a class set of manipulatives in about 10 minutes. It's super easy to do. Here is assessments. Not going to do this in lesson 1, but maybe in lesson 2, 3, or 4, I'll go back to Engine, review the song, and see if they can correctly notate the rhythm. This is a 2-beat rhythm notation, which is a bit harder for the kids. This one's easier. It's a 1-beat. Engine, 2 sounds on a beat. Copy the TT from the top of the page into the hearts. Here's the manipulatives. And again, really easy to make a class set. Copy them onto cardstock, cut, 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 cut. I don't even laminate them because they're so easy to make. If they get wrecked, I'll make them again. The note rhythm cards, equally easy. And because Engine just uses ta and TT, that's what I have on these cards. I could have kids create a B section with rhythms. They could then play it on an instrument. Here's a way to create a word rhythm pattern in a printable form. The only time I would do this is if kids have a portfolio and I need something to put in it. I would rather do the manipulatives than a pencil and paper exercise, but they're nice to have for portfolios, nice to have to put on bulletin boards to show kids work. And then this is an extra, train sounds. So that is what I go to and see when I click on the little arrow for Engine number 9. And every reading song in the program has this. I introduce O Canada early in the year in grade 2 because I'm Canadian. If you're American, skip it and go to My Country 'Tis of Thee. I ask, what instruments do you have in your classroom? This used to be a bowl and wooden spoons. We put real instruments in here now. And then play along with Riding That New River Train. If you've got short periods, playing along is probably all you can do. If you've got longer periods, you can teach the whole song and sing along with it. And then we end with our little echo song, The Music Time Is Over, that I really quite like.
The music time is over. Music time is over. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye until the next time. Goodbye until the next time. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
So I would feel really comfortable coming into any of your classrooms and teaching that lesson September week 1. To go back up to the top, the little arrow key jumps us right up to the top. If I want to edit it and make it my own, copy to my list. And now instead of Denise's copy of grade 2 lesson 1, I'm going to edit the title and I'm going to make it just grade 2 lesson 1. And now if I decide I don't really like Welcome to Music, I'm going to trash it, throw it in the garbage. If you want your echo rhythm patterns first, you've got them first. But if you want to move it around, you can use the arrow keys. Maybe you want to do vocal warm-ups first. If you want to add something to this, scroll to the bottom. Okay, let's take out another thing. I'm not Canadian, so I'm going to take out Oh Canada. It's gone. And I won't have time to do Riding That New River Train. I think I'm just going to take it out because I know already I won't have time for it. Music time is over. I'll do it myself without the prompt. I can add a procedure. So I can do this in any lesson. So if I have something in a Google Drive that I want to link to, I can link to it using the link. If I have something from YouTube that I want to add, I can add something from YouTube. So I'm going to go to YouTube and I'm going to look up, my favorite is to add is Line Rider. Never been able to convince him to make line riders for me on Musicplay Online.
Why should you use Miro? When you draw on a
And
whiteboard,
copy
no one sees it. With Miro,
URL. Notice ad is here now, and I'm not sure if this is on purpose, but the ad seems to go away when I put the link in. So let's see here. That was my list. That was grade 2, lesson 1. And I'm going to go down to the bottom to my ad procedure. And I copy the link for Line Rider in. And I'm going to call it Line Rider. And I think it's in the hall. So I'll put Line Rider in the hall in the link text. And I'll add it as a procedure. And now I'm going to go to the bottom of my list. Sorry if this makes you seasick. I've got Line Rider in the hall. When I click it, it goes there. And it goes without the ad. I don't know if that's accidental or it happens, but I love it, that it goes without the ad. So that is beautiful. If I want to do Line Rider first, a little trick. If something's at the bottom of your list and you want it at the top, click the down arrow. And likewise, if something's at the top of your list and you want it at the end, click the up arrow. I can use the little edit button to edit titles, but I can make this my own lesson. I can copy, leave it for a sub. So those are really, that is the easiest way to lesson plan, is simply use the learning modules on the left menu, choose your grade, find your week, and teach the lesson the way it is. They are beautiful lessons. Lots of times I'm not going to do the screen share through the whole thing. It's just a little reminder for me. So I might turn the screen off and just do things myself with the kids. Another way to create your lessons is to create your own My List. Brand new list from scratch. So I'm going to add new list and I'm going to call it Webinar Wednesday. Easy lesson plans. So I add it. It's now a list. So when I look at my lists, I now have Webinar Wednesday right here. I don't add to it via this list. Instead, I go throughout the site, find out things that I want. So I'm going to go first off to games because I love games. And I'm going to show you the new note toss game, Treble Clef. Lots of fun to play. And I can choose my level. I like doing, let's do the C scale. There is a selector tool coming for this, but currently you just go below. So I'm going to do 15 seconds, name the note. If I get it right, it goes in the waste paper basket. And I do as many as I can in the time allotted. I'm going to do one wrong on purpose. I get it wrong and it goes out there. So I got 5 done, 1 wrong. I can review what I did wrong and go on and do it again. So if you want to time your kids and your kids want a challenge and find out how many notes they can do in, I lost my lesson, how many notes they can do in 15, 20, 30, or 60 seconds, you can do it. So this is my webinar Wednesday. Oh, I didn't add it. That was a problem. Go back to my games, do my note toss, choose my level, and I have to add it to my list. Not smart, Denise. Let's fix that up. So it goes into Webinar Wednesday, and I'm going to say see scale so that I know which game I added, and now it's in Webinar Wednesday. So now when I go to my lists, Webinar Wednesday has note toss, treble clef. I'm going to show you one more really neat new thing. I'm going to go to units, and I'm going to go to our musical world. And most of these are beautiful John Jacobson world music videos. Canadian teachers, we have a whole unit made up of Nui Jinan materials, more coming. But our friend Mbalu Fred in Uganda has gifted us with some songs. I help support his charity to help street kids. In turn, he sends me beautiful song videos. So let's learn Kodina. Let's see, Kodina units, our musical world, Uganda, and I'm going to look for the one slide lyrics in English. The words are Kodina, Kodina. Very easy. Say them with me. Ready? Kodina, Kodina. We say it 3 times. So let's say them 3 times. Kodina, 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 Kodina. Last line. Waka chai chai Kodina. Waka chai chai Kodina. And then these are the verses. I'm jumping, I'm playing, I'm dancing, I'm eating, I'm shaking, I'm singing. And let's do this with the kids from Uganda. They would be thrilled to know that so many North American teachers are singing with them. And you can stand up to do this, get a stretch. Kodina, 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 waka cha cha. And again, our little guy is really anxious to show his solo. I'm jumping, I'm jumping. I would have the kids jump along with our soloist. And we sing. Kodina, 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 waka cha cha. He's got a ball in his hand. I'm playing, I'm playing, I'm playing, I'm playing, I'm playing. Waka cha cha, Kodina. Kodina, 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 waka cha cha, Kodina.
I'm dancing, I'm dancing, I'm dancing, I'm dancing, I'm dancing, I'm dancing, waka cha cha, Kodina.
Kodina, 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 waka cha cha, Kodina.
I'm eating, I'm eating, I'm eating, I'm eating, I'm eating, I'm eating, waka cha cha, Kodina.
Kodina, 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 waka cha cha, Kodina.
I'm shaking while dancing, I'm shaking while dancing, I'm shaking while dancing, waka cha cha, Kodina.
Kodina, 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 waka cha cha, Kodina.
I'm singing, I'm singing, I'm singing, I'm singing, I'm singing, I'm singing, waka cha cha, Kodina.
Kodina, 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 waka cha cha, Kodina.
This is such a gift to have music directly from Uganda shared with us. And I was curious about the instruments because I didn't know what they were. So Mbalu Fred made me videos about the instruments. So you have the translations. The translation basically is, it does not have an English translation. They're nonsense syllables. Something like if we were doing la-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da, or doom, 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 doom. It's just a sort of a rhythmic thing. But I really and truly love this, and it's quite spectacular. So I'm going to ask the team if they have questions for me while I'm on the site.
Denise, can you head over to lesson planning and just show the downloadable subnotes?
Yes, absolutely.
We have a doc.
So it goes general information, music advocacies, equity, diversity, scope and sequence, the What We Learn posters, and then substitute plans. So the one that you really want is the learning module substitute information. And that helps a lot. There's also it given as a Word doc, so you can edit that, which would be helpful as well. So if I open up the Word doc, it downloads for me. I now have it in my downloads. But the PDF is editable, so you can use the PDF as well.
We have some questions about if students haven't had a sequential curriculum up to this point because of COVID and such, how do you suggest implementing Musicplay Online?
Okay.
Older students so they can catch up.
This reminded me that I had not shown the sequence. If I go into the song list and I look at grade 2, this is the Musicplay song list. I assume that every child comes into grade 2 not knowing anything. Engine number 9 reviews So and Me. So if your kids have come in without the things in grade 1 that they should have, we review it, and they do it faster than they would if they were in grade 1. For most of the songs, it'll show the tone set, it'll show the rhythms. And this is the easy way. If you're an Orff teacher, you'll see it has an Orff arrangement. If you're a Kodaly teacher, you can very quickly see the sequence that you can use. And I do review So and Me in every grade, because I don't assume that kids come in with prior knowledge. So you can, if you have grade 2s coming in and you know they didn't learn much in grade 1 because of COVID, start them at the beginning of grade 2 and take them through it anyways, because that review is built into the program.
Are there certain assessments that match up with the modules?
Oh, that is a good question. I would say no. That's going to be something that you're going to need to do as a teacher. Within every reading song, there are built-in assessments. So the built-in assessments here for beat and rhythm are here in printables. If I'm teaching solfa and I want to assess whether the kids are reading and writing solfa, there's a printable for that. If I go to any of the reading songs, I'm going to go to a different reading song. I'm going to go to Hill Hill, which is number 6 in grade 2, a fun little singing game. It'll be introduced in lesson 2. Again, more review of So Me because I don't assume kids know it. And the same printables are going to be here. So again, I don't want to specify assessments because your students might be in the preparation stage. My students might be practicing it, and it's really easy for them. So what you assess is going to depend on where your own students are at. But you will find in the printables of every song lots of options for assessment.
And actually, while we're still on the song, we just have a question that just came in. What do you mean by reading songs, and how do you know?
How do I know what's a reading song? I put a list of them in the print that you can print out, but honestly, you don't need it. Select a grade level, and I'm selecting grade 1. Anything that has a solfege pattern here is a reading song. It's there to teach that tone set. Anything that has the rhythms here, Sam the Robot Man should not have this here. That would be for older grades. But the Ta Titi Mi So La reading song. Probably most of the Orff arrangements are reading songs. So Choo Choo Train, reading song. Counting song, reading song. Hop Old Squirrel, reading. Buy Low, Baby Low, reading. I Like Turkey. Not really a reading because this is a tone set I'm not going to teach in first grade, but it's a really fun game. And it's good to prepare those kids for future grades when they're going to learn those tone sets. So use kind of common sense as to where your kids are at. Don't do something that has la ti do as a melody reading but it's where they're going to experience it. And this is in 6/8, so they'll get some experience in 6/8. I would look for the ones that have simple tone patterns, simple tone sets like you're going to use, and rhythms that you're going to teach in that grade level. And those will have Bounce the Ball. It's going to have all the reading materials. Name the notes. It's going to have accents, drawing page, ask me. Okay, next question.
Any suggestions for integrating ukulele?
Oh, you can filter when you're searching. So if I want ukulele songs that use ukulele, okay, help me out here a little bit. I'm going to take off grade 1, and I'm going to go to the filter, and I'm going to add a filter. And what do I do here, Carolyn? Chords. And I'm going to look for things that have either 1 chord or 2 chords. Depends where my kids are at. So if my kids know 2 chords, I can then filter by grade. I wouldn't really start ukulele. I like grade 4. If you want to start early, you could start in 3. But now I'm going to look for grade 4 songs. And all these songs have 2 chords. So Wake Me, Shake Me has the ukulele guitar arrangement, and it uses G and D. Might be a little hard for the grade 4s, so maybe I would or I would not use that one. But I would maybe divide the class in 2, have half the class play the G chords, half the class play the D chords. Every song that's in the song sequence, every song has a ukulele arrangement. We didn't do it just for some of them. Although, let's see, did we put one in there? We did. It's really hard, but we put it in there. So I can jump around in the song list, and typically I'm going to want the simpler songs, not complex ones. But if you're in grade 4, for example, if I'm in grade 4 and I look at Hey Lidy, 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 I think that will probably be a nice 2-chord ukulele song. And it is. It uses just C and G7. If my kids can't switch, I have half the class play the Cs, other half of the class play the G7s. Did I answer that correctly, Carolyn, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe just show the instrument section so that they just have an idea of the actual...
Yes. So good plan. Instruments. If I go to ukulele, I go to 1, 2, 3 chord and C. This is my basic teaching sequence that I use. So I start with all 1 chords for a long, long time. And when they are good with 1 chords, then I start into 2. At the same time, if I want to add some pop songs, I can. And I start with Lime in the Coconut, which uses only C7. Chain of Fools, C minor is a bit hard, but they can do it. A minor, very easy for them to do. And then we start into 2 chord songs. And I'll tell you, when they get to Uptown Funk, they think they are the real deal. So lots of ukulele stuff. In the instruments, currently we have a frame drum unit, and I want to show you what's coming. This is so cool. We have Dave Holland creating a bunch of lessons.
Drum Play with Mr. Dave.
I'm not a drummer. Dave Holland is a fabulous drummer, and he's got a series of 6 30-minute lessons on the drums that are coming onto the drum section of the website. And we have another drummer Dan, who's going to do a very different style of teaching. So lots more coming.
So next thing, I'm just going to do a quick little thing. So there's a question about French speaking.
Let's go to the song list, and we want to filter for French. And now if I go to grade 1, look at all the beautiful French stuff we have now. And we have the same activities for it, the same components that we do for English. So Sam the Robot Man is Je le Robot in French, and we have concept slides. What does this mean, Carolyn?
So annotation is notation. That one that is 1-page lyrics, and the last one is lyrics.
And lyrics. We have the piano arrangement, and we have the ukulele guitar, and we have some lovely printables as well. The Ask Me pages, I can figure that one out. Yep. And the lyrics are built in, the teaching notes are built, and we can thank Serge for all of this. This is his work. This is his baby. For the reading songs, we will be building the same. I'm looking for engine in French. Choo choo.
It might not. Oh, yeah.
It is there. So we have the beat and rhythm exercises, pulsation et rythme, and here it is in French. So you are getting a gift from Serge, all you who teach in French. When he has completed French, I don't know if he's going to actually stay with us that long, but we're planning to do Spanish after. We'll never get anyone as talented as Serge, so I hope he works as long as I do. We'll still be working when we're 90.
Okay, and then I've got a question from Australia. So we start school year in February. How should we align?
Okay. I actually have done alignments for pre-K, and it worked actually really quite well to do pre-K. And I did 4 10-week modules, and I just sort of picked and chose. We should probably put the Australia pre-K online. And when time permits, which might not be for another year or two, but I will try my best, we will do the same thing for the other grades. Let's see if I can pull it up and show you. I've done it. It's been fun doing it, and I hope we can finish it. Okay, it's not finding it, but it is done. I know it's done because I spent quite a bit of time doing it, and I do apologize to the Australians because we have lots of you now on the website, and I haven't continued with the Australian planning. Pre-K, to everybody on here, use pre-K instead of kindergarten if you don't have pre-K in your school. It's better anyways. So for Australians, you'd use this for your prep. Keep in mind, we are going to try and get that done. Maybe by the time you start school in February, I'll have at least 1 quarter outlined for you so you can follow through.
Okay, we have some people who are doing online teaching. So
Yes.
how would you add things to Google Classroom? How do you get students to complete their assignments?
Okay, so the assignments you're going to have to create, and I would suggest doing them in either a Google form or I would do them in a slide where you put your assignment in the background of the slide. The kids type on it, the answers, and they send it back to you. We don't have an LMS system at this point, and I think it's a couple of years away until we do have an LMS. So you're going to have to use Google as the LMS. But in your Google slide, and I don't have Google Slides handy, but I do have a PowerPoint handy. So if I wanted to give kids a link, I'm going to give kids a link. I'll get out of French and I'll go to English. And I want to give them a link to Little Red Wagon. And I want them to play along. If I go to the notation, I copy the URL up at the top and I put that link in the slide. I'm going to wreck my slide temporarily. When the kids click on that link, they will see, when they click on the slide, this is the window that they'll see. It's white on the one side. It says looking to use Little Red Wagon in your classroom. It says access now as a student or an educator. Subs and kids should always access as a student. And you can see my D115019 is already in as the code. And then I click access some fun. And the kids go right to the Little Red Wagon video that I wanted them to go to. So links in Google Slides are the best way to convey material to home. And you can do direct links to any song, any video, any interactive, any game. And it's just getting better and better and easier to use.
Do you have any recorder units, and what grade do you teach recorders?
Do I love the recorder? I play in a recorder ensemble and I love it. So you go to instruments on the left menu and then choose recorder. If you can see the screen, we have body percussion units, boom whacker, methods, bucket drumming, and now we have Mr. Frank's bucket drumming to add to it. Drums with 2 more coming. We have guitar, we have recorder, ukulele, unpitched, and virtual instruments for your kids at home if they don't have classroom instruments. So recorder, we have recorder kit 1, kit 2, Blues Cats, Jazz Cats. Kit 1 is your beginning sequence, and in the introduction to Kit 1, I added teacher notes on the recorder section. I added that a week ago. And this outlines everything that's in the Kit 1 and gives some suggestions for the others. Lots of material. You can print out the songs from here. So here's songs 1 to 8 that use BAG, 9 to 17 use low E, and then we go on. And we've done them in chunks so that if you don't get through all the songs in a year, don't feel bad. So in the songs, in the recorder section, I would start with Just Be. And one of the beautiful things that's been gifted to us, again, Nathan Walby, Visual Musical Minds on YouTube, created the animated recorder. And these are lovely for the kids demo videos. And once I'm in the instrument section, I don't have to click in, out, to get to the next song. I just click next. And I go to song number 2. If I want to change songs, I click on change song, and I can scroll to wherever I want. And so it's less clicking, which makes it easier. I love the recorder, and I love the Jazz Cats and the Blues Cats. Just have a listen to Dixie Cat because it's the most fun ever. Older beginners would love this. And in each of these Jazz Cats and Blues Cats pieces, there's a place to improvise. So super fun. I love the instrument methods on Musicplay Online. Okay, any other questions?
Yes, we have one question about the composer info videos.
Okay, two
Is there a list
places.
of the different composers' info videos?
You can search by composer. So I'm going to go into Discover actually, and I'm going to search Beethoven. So in the listening selections, every one of these listening selections will have a little tiny short video on Beethoven. In the units, I have Beethoven Lives Upstairs, which is a 50-minute made for HBO special. Again, this is a really good subplan. We have one worksheet here now. We will have many more because we're rebuilding the worksheets and the teacher's guides for the composer specials. So you can search by composer and find all the composers on the website easily through the Discover engine.
Can you recover any deleted sections in the event that you delete one by accident in my list? No,
Okay.
you can't. Not at this time.
Really easy to
Yes.
copy and make a new one.
Okay, and then how do you teach your national anthem? It's very wordy. And
I'm so glad you asked that. Go into units, go into festivals and holidays, and go down to Independence Day. Right there. So Star Spangled Banner, and we have a whole unit on the Star Spangled Banner with interactives. What is an anthem? About the anthem, an anthem activity, fill in the blanks and sort the phrases. So, oh, say, what comes next? Oh, say, can you see? These are awesome interactive activities, and they have been rebuilt. I can add those to my list, and that's Star Spangled. Add to the list. Okay, next question.
We are kind of coming to the end of them. Could you please elaborate a bit more on the Indigenous unit? So Nguyen probably.
Okay, so that is in units. That is in world music, and I'm going to confess that I haven't yet looked through everything myself, so it might be a bit of a surprise to me, but Danae is a lovely writer and creator of materials, so we have the video, and we have permissions, and they've gifted this to us, the Nui Jinan Presents, and then we have the lyrics to the song that you can download and print, and we have a worksheet that talks about the song, your student's name, what community is performing it, what city and province are they from, what does this word mean when Kaya starts to sing, and in the lyrics, I believe, there is an answer key as well, so you can do that. Do we have the lyrics with the individual singers listed? Yes, we do. So Shea, Tiffany, Akita, It lists the kids that sing. And this again comes right from the Nui-Jinan community. So you can have the kids sing along with them. You can have them answer questions about the song. And then, of course, we have projectable lyrics and the song here. So they can learn the song here. One of the things that I would like to do with this, in addition to what's here now, is to create a composing unit with these. But that's a few months away. We're not going to have it done yet. The process that the Nui-Jinan organization uses to make these videos is incredible. These are made in 5 days. They go into a community, they work with the young people, brainstorm for things that concern them in their community. They create a song about it. The Nui-Jinan people do a backup track, and then they record. They record the kids. Any of the kids who are good little singers get to be featured soloists on it, and then they make their music videos, which are fabulous.
It's about storybooks. We have people who are very interested in storybooks, and I know we have a good PDF.
2 places to find good storybooks: learning modules, storybooks. And all of these storybooks are inclusive and wonderful. All are welcome. Beautiful back to school lesson. Listening walk lesson, great for early in the year when you're teaching kids about environmental sounds. Back to the lesson planning. And if I scroll down past advocacy, equity, scope and sequence, I think it's in highlights. In highlights is storybook lessons in Musicplay. And this includes many that are in pre-K in the plans. This includes the mini books. We have to change this because right now it says reproducible, but we've changed it to mini books. This includes songs where we've given you a template to create your own big book. And that is a wonderful activity, again, for a beautiful sub-story. The Create a Story in the Halloween unit is a huge hit with kids. They love that. I've told the storybooks that are in some additional resources. Any more questions?
But what is the cost of Musicplay Online subscription?
It's $175 a year American or $200 Canadian. So if it's roughly $20 a month if you sign up on the monthly plan. So you can sign up for a free 15-day trial, and then you can choose how you want to go. If you want to go by the month, by the year. It's less expensive to buy the whole year. My thought is, even if you have to pay for it out of pocket, if your school won't buy it, it is worth it because your time is valuable. If this saves you 1 hour a month, that's worth $20. My time's worth way more than $20 to me. So if I create one worksheet or one printable or one set of concept slides, and you don't have to make the charts and you don't have to do all the visuals, and it's saving you an hour a week, well worth the cost of it. And you can go to PACs, you can go to parent councils. They will often fund it. Principals, when they see the cost of this and the scope of what's on this website compared to something like Mathletics, it's so little cost compared to things that are comparable for math or language arts or even other online curriculums. There's one online curriculum and it's a wonderful curriculum, but it costs 10 times what Musicplay Online costs. And honestly, I don't think it has the strength of pedagogy that we have on Musicplay Online. Thank you so much for staying with us for the time, and I hope you have a wonderful start to your school year. Our topic next week is name games and music room rules. So I've got some new ones, brand new actually. I created something yesterday that's going to go into the back to school unit. It might even be there now if Danae was quick. Let's see if she did it. I love it when I am sometimes in planes. Okay, so there's a new activity called A Place to Learn and Grow. It's a little song. How can we make our classroom a place to learn and grow? Welcoming and friendly to everyone we know. And the kids would make up be statements. Be nice. Be kind. Be compassionate. Be respectful, and they'd choose an instrument to play it on. sing the song as the theme, and the B statements get to be their little B sections of this little piece. So more about that next week.
Thank you for sharing your time with us today. If you would like to earn a PD certificate for this episode, download the accompanying handout, or watch the webinar, please go to workshops.musicplay.ca. See you next time.
It's time for music play.